Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sarah Martin with The Contoured Chemist. Today we're talking skincare, guys, and I'm gonna call this brands I would buy anything from. I'm always asked what's the one skincare brand that I recommend for people, and so I wanna kind of go over my thoughts. And we're gonna go over 3 brands that I love every single product from. And I'm even gonna give you one brand that's an honorable mention, and we're gonna do a little morning skincare while we talk about them. If you wanna check it out, please keep watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and thanks for being here. Okay, friends, so I am often asked, what is one brand that I can use for my entire skincare regimen? And that's usually a really hard question for me to answer. Do I recommend sticking with one brand? And usually I say no, because for one, it shouldn't be based on the brand. It should be based on what are your skincare goals. So for one, not every brand has products in their lineup that will work for your skincare goals. So say anti-aging is your biggest concern. Holy grail anti-aging ingredient is a retinoid. Not every brand has a retinoid. Not every brand even has a cleanser. And we can all agree that a cleanser is probably the most necessary step in your regimen, right? Don't get me wrong, there are brands out there that have absolutely every product you can imagine, but I am going to talk to today about brands that I trust. Wholeheartedly, I would buy anything they came out with, say hi to Curry, because they have integrity. And I'm not saying that the brands I don't mention today don't have any integrity, but I'm saying that these brands stick out to me. They are all backed by science, which I feel like right now in the industry, it's getting very saturated with a lot of misinformation, things that don't have clinical trials, that don't have any research behind them, a lot of false information. And I've never ever heard these brands make false claims, spread information. I actually trust them. And I am a scientist, but I mean, that is my background. So I do feel like because these brands I'm going to be talking about, most of them are founded by either scientists or co-founded by a cosmetic chemist or dermatologist. And I do feel like because of their scientific background, they probably are like-minded to me in that regard, in that they can see the problem in the industry and the beauty industry as a whole, as far as these people will never claim to be clean. They know that that word doesn't exist. They know that there's so much false information about ingredients as far as safety and demonizing ingredients that have no reason to be vilified. Like, I'm sorry, you will never convince me in a million years that water in skincare is a bad thing. So I'm getting asked left and right about different brands that you're seeing pop up, and right now are a lot of hype, I will be honest. I have done my research. One of the companies, and I'm not going to say names because I don't really like to badmouth any skincare, because what works for me might not work for you. Everyone has different skin, and it might work beautifully for some people. And so I don't want to name names, but I'm getting asked all the time about trying these different products and what I think about them. And I appreciate that you guys trust my opinion. And I can just tell you, one of the companies I did a lot of research on, they make a lot of false claims. They spread a lot of misinformation. They are really encouraging all of the things that's wrong with the beauty industry and clean beauty, in my opinion. Clean beauty is a movement that has really wrecked the skincare industry, in my opinion. It's because, like, so many people believe it now that I feel like so many people don't even realize it's not a real thing, that no ingredient is considered clean, like that they're saying everything is toxic or non-toxic, and that isn't even the definition of what toxicity is. And so I get really frustrated as someone who understands science and ingredients and chemistry when people are saying that something is bad. And the clean beauty movement has actually created less safe products, to be honest, because they vilify an ingredient that has been used for hundreds of years. People therefore think it's bad. So what happens? They have to keep up with the consumers and what they will actually purchase. So then they remove a safe ingredient and replace it with something that has not as much research, doesn't work as well, and it can actually create problems in the preservation system of our makeup and skincare products. It is like a ripple effect, and it is mind-blowing to me from somebody that is now being able to stand back and look at it in this large perspective that it's even happening, that it hasn't been stopped. So all that to say, I will never endorse or even want to spend my own money on a company that is selling their product through misinformation, fear-mongering, and making you afraid of things in your skincare you should never be afraid of. And there's so many red flags, I can't even. Like, don't ever try to sell me something without a preservation system. No one wants a fungal infection on their face, okay? So the other one, I've told you guys before, I researched it, very happy with their ingredients and their research on it, but tried it for myself. And I will never talk about something unless I really have tested it for myself. And I just didn't feel like the claims met my results or the price point. And so there's a lot of great skincare out there, guys, but if it is really expensive, I cannot, in my right mind, like, encourage you guys to purchase that when I've used better that's cheaper, that is just as easy to get. It's one of the reasons why I did my last video on K-beauty products from Amazon. It isn't that difficult to order on Amazon. We can all probably attest to that, right? Being able to say, oh, buy this for simplicity's sake because it's all from one brand, when all of the products I don't recommend, I can't do it. So these are all products I recommend from one brand. Now, you will see the brands I talk about won't have everything in the line. This is why I don't feel like you can stick to one line. I will be honest. Now, obviously, these lines are always expanding as they do research and formulate new products, but I know good formulations take time. And one of the reasons why I feel like some of these brands have such high integrity is because they don't release products just to release a product. They release a product when the formulation is the best and unlike others on the market. And so I see the research, I see everything that goes into it, and I can wholeheartedly say that all of these products are very good. I've tested them all. These are all things I own. And yeah, let's get into it. I'm gonna be talking about my top 3. I can't even put an order on these, and I know you guys are probably gonna say this as well. You do not need everything from these lines. Again, listen to my descriptions and understand what the product's purpose is. And if you are needing that, if there is a hole in your regimen for your skin concern, nobody needs all of these products. I test products for a living. That is why I have all of these. Do I use all of them on a daily basis? No, I don't. But these are all amazing formulated products, and I will stand behind them 100%. They don't make any clean claims. Don't use fear as a marketing tactic. And in my opinion, if you have a well-formulated product, you don't have to, because it will work. And one of these brands, their entire motto is, thought I might say it on the box, but it doesn't. Their entire motto is rituals, not miracles. 100% agree. There are no miracle products, and anything trying to sell itself to you as a miracle in a bottle is all false advertising, okay? So it is all about consistency, well-formulated products, and using them long enough to see results, all right? So let's go ahead and talk about cleansers. Now, in this lineup of 3 brands, there's only one cleanser. Again, one of the reasons why I appreciate these lines is because they don't just come out with products just to come out with a product. They formulate them well. So some of these are not going to be a surprise to you. These brands probably will not be a surprise to you. I have talked about it time and time again. So first up is Prequel. This one allures Reader's Choice Award this year for Best Breakthrough Brand in 24. I 100% agree. I will be honest, I don't know how they can put out this well-formulated products at the price point. Like, you cannot, like, look how big this bottle is. I use this almost daily, and I haven't even put a dent in it. The cool thing is that a lot of their products can be used for both face and body. Now, I do only use this for my face as a second cleanse. This brand I completely support because they are affordable and their products are all so good. I will be honest, this was a gifted product to me. Now, some of these products were gifted, some of these were bought with my own money. That really doesn't affect the way I talk about a brand. If I like it, I will talk about it. There's a lot of PR I get and I never speak about it because it's not good. So I'm not going to tell you guys about something I don't approve of. Cleanser is one of the best cleansers I have ever used on my face. It gets its name from the fact that it is 50% glycerin. If you don't know, glycerin is the GOAT of all humectants, in my opinion. It will hydrate like no other. It will improve your skin's barrier. You can use this bottle for your face or body. It's got aloe vera to soothe, arginine, which is an NMF, which is a natural moisturizing factor. So it's gonna actually give you more long-lasting hydration instead of just like short term. And one of the reasons why this is my favorite is because you suffer from rosacea. This is one of, let's see, the brand has 5 products that are have the seal of acceptance for the National Rosacea Society, 7 of their products for the National Eczema Association, and 4 of them for the National Psoriasis Foundation. It is founded by Dr. Samantha Ellis. She's an amazing educator on skin. I'm so impressed with how well this brand has taken off. I understand why. Their formulations are so well thought out and researched. They get third-party clinical trials, and I mean, $20 for this. Like, yes, you can only get it from their website. I'd say that's the only downfall right now, but it wouldn't surprise me if this brand will make it into Target stores eventually, kind of like Naturium. I believe this is next line like Naturium to just go crazy as far as popularity, and they 100% deserve it. As of the making of this video, they have 13 total products. So not a ton, they don't have everything, but they do have more than all the other brands I'm gonna talk about combined, I think. Surprisingly, you guys know my love for essences, toners, sprays, all of those things, and I don't have any from this line, or these 3 lines. So this is the closest thing to it, and you guys have seen me talk about this before. This was one of the things that made me fall in love with this line is the Prequel. This is the Universal Skin Solution. So this is a hypochlorous acid spray, which sounds scary. If you follow me on Instagram, you saw I did a deep dive into this as an ingredient. Other brands that have it as well, but not at this price point. It's a really great price point for the amount you get. The sprayer on this is insane. It is so fine, such a fine mist. Like, it's my favorite hypochlorous acid spray of all of them because of the mister itself, like, and the fact that it's cheaper than the others. You can use this after cleansing to hydrate. It will reduce redness and irritation if you cut your skin or get razor burn. It can soothe that. It will cleanse the skin as well because it's antimicrobial. And I like it for like post-working out. Say you go to the gym, you can have this in your gym bag. You can spray your face as you get in your car, and say you don't have time to go wash your face and you're prone to breaking out. You can spray your back if you're prone to breaking out there from sweating. I've used this a lot this summer in order, you know, as we sweat, and I don't know, I feel like breakouts are just more prevalent in this summer. Since I have rosacea, I use this a lot just to soothe my skin as well, but know that it is kind of like a cleanser without the actual cleanse. Now, I'm not using this today because I'm going to show you the vitamin C, and the only caveat is that this can deactivate your vitamin C. I'm not 100% sure if I don't think their vitamin C is encapsulated. So I'm not saying you can't use this with any, I'm just saying to be cautious. I usually don't use this right before I use my vitamin C, just to make sure my vitamin C is actually gonna do its job. One of the most frequently asked questions I get is a recommendation for a vitamin C. And again, that's usually a question that turns into more questions because I don't think everyone can use the same vitamin C. So as most of you probably know, vitamin C is probably one of the top 3 ingredients I would say to incorporate into your routine. For one, it's an antioxidant, so it will make your sunscreen work better by destroying those free radicals that's produced by UV light. I usually tell people after you cleanse, use your vitamin C first, because you almost want to if you're looking for the best results possible, just put on that product before others. It's gonna absorb deeper into the skin, absorb better. You're not gonna have any kind of barrier between, you know, your skin and that product. Again, you're seeing a lot of hype around other antioxidants in the market right now, but I'm telling you, no other antioxidant has more research than vitamin C. There's a reason why it is the gold standard antioxidant, because it also promotes collagen synthesis, helps dark spots, all of these things that not all antioxidants do. An antioxidant in and of itself destroys free radicals, but do they do all of those other things? The research is not there for anything other than vitamin C for all of these skincare benefits. This is why I always recommend, if you can tolerate a vitamin C, going for it. Now, I know vitamin C is more sensitizing than a lot of other antioxidants. Like usually people, unless they have an allergy, they can use niacinamide very easily, right? It has different purposes. It's an antioxidant, but it's probably better for more congestion prone skin. This is gonna be best if anti-aging is your concern. Another issue with vitamin C is that the pure form, which is L-ascorbic acid, is very unstable. So if you've heard me talk about it before, it can turn really dark in color to where it loses its efficacy, right? So there are derivatives, which are really much easier to formulate with, but they have to go through a conversion process once they go into the skin in order for you to then get those results. So you're not gonna get as much because not everything gets converted 100%. That's just the nature of chemistry. So you can kind of work your way up to it. I know I have very sensitive skin, rosacea, all of the things, and I can use this one no problem. This is one of the most affordable ascorbic acid serums that I've ever seen that actually has a formulation designed to recycle the oxidized vitamin C, which is when it is no longer effective, back into the vitamin C our skin can use. Ergothioneine, which is the booster. It's L-ascorbic acid, it's got ferulic acid, which is the most studied combination. It's an antioxidant, again, best for anti-aging purposes. It also has niacinamide, so it's really got a trio of antioxidants. Skin texture, tone, radiance, less dull, and help firmness. Has been clinical trials. It's very affordable as well, which I feel like in today's market, a really good vitamin C that's stable is very pricey, and it just like hurts me to recommend something like that. So I'm always like, if affordability is like a criteria, Prequel is the way to go. I've said it 100 times. So they will say once you've opened a bottle, 3 months is how long it will last before it goes bad. I will say, I do occasionally have little things that bother me about certain products. This one, can you see? as far as I like the packaging, but for some reason, it's like the vitamin C kind of leaks. Do you see how dark that is? That is bad vitamin C when it is that dark in color, okay? Now, as far as a serum goes, this is a little, it's got a nice texture, but I'll be honest, it feels slightly oily, and I don't want to say that in a bad sense, because usually if I say something's oily, there people are like, ugh, but it just isn't. As it's a very thin, not watery, but it's got a little bit more viscosity to it. Does that make sense? So the cool thing though is that once you put it on, it absorbs really fast and really easily, and it doesn't feel oily at all. Once it's on the skin, it feels serumy. I hope that description helps. So I'd say the only downfall is that some of it like just kind of seems to like get on the outside, and vitamin C breaks down with light and air. So obviously if it's on the outside of the bottle, it's gonna get bad. That's why you see those dark spots. So I just try to keep it cool, dark place. It's gonna last longer, but they will tell you 3 months and then you should be going to a new bottle. Okay, while that soaks in, we're gonna start talking about a different line. So Prequel was my first line. They have the most number of products. This next one, you've also heard me talk about, they only have 4 products, you guys. Again, I appreciate that they're not just coming out with stuff. They come out with stuff that is different. And I appreciate innovation over saturation of the market with another product we don't need, if that makes sense. All right, guys, the next brand is Experiment. So if you've been around here, you know my obsession with super saturated, okay? This is a 30% glycerin. It is a barrier support serum is what they call it. Let me back this up and say this next section is hydrating serums. I am a little controversial in the fact that I don't think you just need a hyaluronic acid serum. There's way too many well-formulated serums. The HA is in practically everything. You do not need an only hyaluronic acid serum. I really urge you to look for something that is a little bit more all-encompassing, because like I said, it's like using a straight niacinamide. Niacinamide's put in practically everything. Hyaluronic acid's put in practically everything. You don't need dedicated serums for both of those when you can get a serum that is more of your entire barrier or whatever the case may be. But if you have dehydrated or dry skin, that doesn't mean you can't use some sort of hydration serum. Just look for one that's a little bit more elegantly formulated. This is one of my favorites because you can use it multiple ways. You can use it as a serum. At night, I would use like 2 pumps of this, put it all over my face. You can use it as a mask, which I will show you here in a second. And you can use it as a booster and just put a pump into your moisturizer, and it's gonna add more barrier support and more hydration. It is 30% glycerin, which is what gives it that, as they call, super satty type of texture, right? So people either love or hate this. It's kind of like the whole snail thing. I'll be honest, I don't typically like to use this one as a serum on its own under makeup. But I use this mostly at night when I really want to plump my skin overnight. If I really need, maybe my barrier is inflamed. It's got polyglutamic acid, which is PGA, which is a high molecular weight humectant. So glycerin and PGA are both humectants, but having multiple molecular weights will work on your skin differently. So if you have something that's a lower molecular weight, that means it's going to be able to penetrate your skin deeper, hydrated the inside. When something's higher, that means it's going to more like stay on the skin's surface and plump in that regard. So this is a higher molecular weight one that will plump fine lines on the surface of your skin. So that's what the PGA will do. Okay, but it also has like soothers in it. So again, if your barrier is inflamed, I can never say the bisabolol, which is soothing, prickly pear extract calms. Again, it's got niacinamide, allotonin, which speeds up your skin's recovery process. All these things in conjunction are just for skin barrier health. What turned me on to this product was actually this one, which was their first product, which is their famous, I call it like alien mask, if you've ever seen somebody use it. It's called Avant Garde, and it's their reusable sheet mask. I'm telling you, you look kind of crazy when you put this on. But I am all for anything reusable. So it's silicone, which is antibacterial, so it's not gonna like have a lot of yuckies all over it, you know. You can easily wash this, hang to dry, and reuse it. So when I need a boost in hydration, I put this on heavily. And then I put this on. So their clinical trials said that using this ups skin's hydration after 30 minutes with this 136%. And that is by using an actual like scientific device that will measure your skin's hydration levels. So they did their own clinical trials for all of their stuff as well. Again, one of the factors I took into account was backed by science. You want to reduce transepidermal water loss, which is just what your skin naturally does during the day, which is losing water, and that's what leads to dehydration. Telling you, using this just even a couple nights a week. I'm not saying you have to use it every night, but I use this when especially in the winter, as maybe the heat gets turned on, that kind of stuff. But you can use it with any hydration serum. I just typically use this because this is probably the best hydration serum I've ever used. Now, like I said, it is 30% glycerin, so it is kind of sticky. So it might give a slip to some makeup. So I'm not gonna say that I use this underneath my makeup per se, unless I'm just using a very small amount. But a full 2 pumps I will only use at night, if that helps. So that's 2 of the 4 products from Experiment. My other hydrating serum. Now I'll be honest, I have not had this long. This just launched from Prequel. This is a beautiful glass bottle. I love their packaging on this. And this is another one. It's just got a lot of great ingredients. This is called their Multi-Quench Plumping Hydration Serum. All right, so because I haven't been using this that long, it's hard for me to say that it's like better or anything than the other one, but I will say this one is much more wearable under makeup. So this is what I'm gonna put on today. It's much more of like a serum-y texture, but it is not just hyaluronic acid. So for one, it has peptides in it, which I need to do an entire video dedicated to, because I'll be honest, there are so many different peptides on the market, guys. It is really hard when a company says, oh, a peptide, it's like, which one? And they all do different things when it comes to skincare. Say it's got 1% pure PGA, which is the one I talked about before, polyglutamic acid, that's the one on the surface of your skin that will plump up fine lines, and a 3% PGA complex. So they're saying this helps for skin elasticity, plumpness, and it actually will naturally increase the production of NMFs in your skin, which is those natural moisturizing factors, which means it's gonna almost help your skin produce those moisturizing factors for themselves long term, which gives you longer lasting hydration. It's got osmolytes to balance water retention in your skin, and it's got ectoin, which if you follow skincare industry right now, you will see that is like the next ingredient. It seems to be popping up more and more. And I was kind of curious to do a little bit more research on what exactly it is, because it was something I hadn't heard of until recently. It's a small chain amino acid, which is technically a peptide, but it actually binds to water and protects it to stabilize hydration. So they say it actually gives you blue light protection and pollution protection as well. So I think that's why it's gaining popularity. It's one of those things a lot of people want as much protection of all the things, especially when it comes to visible light pollution. So it is one of those cool molecules that will actually hydrate and protect your skin. And this also is 10% glycerin. So it still has that glycerin as the goat humectant, but it's not at such a high percentage to feel that tackiness. Like it feels almost like a makeup gripping primer at this point. So I would feel confident being able to put this on and then going in with my makeup, and it's not going to affect it. So that's the Multi-Quench Prequel's newest launch. Okay, so the next one is from, if I really had to pick, probably one of my favorite brands of all time due to their transparency. Like, I appreciate their education, the way they break down. You can like literally see on their website every ingredient, what it does, where they come at the cost. They try to be as sustainable as possible with refills or aluminum tubes and less plastic waste. So well thought out. And I mean, one of their products that isn't even fully released yet, you get free to sample as you buy something because it's still in the formulation process and they want feedback. I mean, like, how many lines do that? They recently sent me all of it. Thank you. And I haven't got to try. The Barrier Blanket is their newest one that I haven't got to try yet. And I'll get to that when we get to that step in the process. But I will say, I became a lover of this brand first by buying it all myself. I bought everything in the line myself before I was gifted. You can say I was a lover first and started talking about it. I'm trying to remember which one I tried first, but I'm gonna talk about their one and only serum right now. This is Dew, and this is Deliverance. So they call this the Trinity Serum because it tackles 3 skin concerns. First is irritation. It will work for fine lines by plumping them up, and uneven tone. Now, this product is not in Canada. I apologize, and that's because it actually has, I can't say this word, cannabinoids. It has CBD, CBG, and CBN complex in them, and it's an encapsulated cannabinoid complex, which I believe cannot be sold in Canada. But they have really cool research by clinical studies on this complex, which is kind of like its main ingredient for soothing and calming. It's got antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties, but then it also has all kinds of other stuff like water lily complex to soothe irritation. Peptides, it's got 2 different peptides, one for firmness, one that's been proven to decrease wrinkle depth, 4% niacinamide for tone, texture, barrier support. So niacinamide is one of those products that's like, it's a ingredient that's in everything. And so they say over 5% can start getting into irritation level. And so that's why it's in here at 4%, because they are so mindful that niacinamide's in other products and they don't want it to increase irritation. I'm telling you, it's like it's just another really well thought out product. It's this nice milky serum. It's soothing. It's going to work as anti-aging and barrier support is like my main thing, but irritation as well. So like, I feel like it's one of those serums that I could easily say will work for anyone because it is multifactorial as well. It's not just one of those products that will work for one purpose. I feel like many people are trying to even their skin tone and fine lines and occasionally have irritation. And if this is going to strengthen your skin barrier all at the same time, that's why I love the name, the Trinity. It's so good. So I would say this would be my pick for just an overall serum. You're looking for a serum that can hit many different points, this would be my pick. And if you're one of those people that can't handle, say, a vitamin C, this is a great replacement for that because it both has niacinamide as an antioxidant and that CBD complex to also be antioxidant, anti-inflammatory. It has the peptides to help on the anti-aging level. So it's hitting it in a different way with these different ingredients, if that makes sense, instead of just vitamin C, which can be irritating. And since now, if redness is a concern, I was really excited about this. This is just for my redness girlies. Like if you have rosacea like me, but let's be honest, there are many different causes of redness. So the cool thing about this is it's not just for rosacea. It hits many different causes and targets them on different levels for whatever is causing your redness in the first place. This is Prequel's Redness Reform Soothing Serum. It's got aloe, bisabolol, which are both soothing ingredients. It's got arnica, which actually will visibly reduce redness right away. Oat, which is calming, vitamin F, so it calms, soothes, and also will restore the lipid barrier. I love this serum. It's just like one of those things that I feel like after I use it, I can visually and, what's the word? I can feel my face cool down, if that makes sense. I'll show you the texture. It's one of those like gel textures. If you suffer from rosacea, you know what I'm talking about when you have that heat to your cheeks, right? And so this actually, you almost can like feel the reduction in temperature. So if you suffer from flushing, this is something that can, you know, as soon as I touch my face, I get red, but it will reduce it, I promise, once it stops. But again, if you don't suffer from redness, this is not the serum for you. It is much more of a specific concern, but for my redness girlies, this one is very good, even if you don't know what's causing your redness. All right, next I'm gonna hit on my honorable mention brand. So this is technically brand 4. And I gave this mostly an honorable mention because there's one product in their lineup I haven't tried, which they do have a cleanser they call a prep, which is supposed to be an exfoliating one. It's supposed to help their product penetrate better, but I haven't tried it. So I will say everything else in the line I've tried, and this next product has become my holy grail because of the visible results I've been able to see for myself. The brand is OneSkin. So if you heard me talk about this before, this is the company that has the OS01 peptide. So it is founded by a bunch of scientists that discovered this peptide, and it's the first peptide that is proven to reverse the skin's biological age. And it works in a way by it prevents senescent cells from accumulation. So senescent cells are like, think of them as like, they call them zombie cells. They almost like infect the cells around them and all contribute to aging. And this will actually reverse that process. So everyone has senescent cells. This is absolutely incredible. And everything in their line has this peptide in it. This is their eye topical supplement. Again, it's got that peptide, and it has a bunch of other great ingredients as well. Glycerin, you guys have heard me talk about that a lot. Shea butter, jojoba seed oil, all great hydrators. Panthenol to soothe, hyaluronic acid, coffee extract, which explains a lot because I noticed when I use this, I don't need my normal depuffing eye cream at the same time. Like, it will depuff when I wake up all like puffy and swollen. That's because of the coffee. That's caffeine. Any caffeine in an eye cream will help constrict and depuff the eye temporarily. And they did do a third-party clinical study. They showed after 12 weeks, a 88% increase in hydration, 86% increase in elasticity, and a 73% in firmness. So I love this because it is a 360. It takes very little product. The only downfall, I think, is the packaging. Now, this is a reusable packaging, so you can refill it. But do you see how that like comes out? Like, no matter what, the cap gets product all over it. I know this is such a stupid thing to complain about, but like this, there's always product like hardened in the tip of the pump. And I know it's dumb, but like it drives me crazy. Every time I go to pump out a little bit, I get this little like thing I have to take out. But I love that I can just barely pump a little bit, because all you need is like less than a pea size. I can put it between my ring fingers, and then I just tap on the corner and I tap under and above, and I can put it all the way on my lids and underneath my eye. Okay, now I 100% believe this is the only product I've been able to see a visible difference in my eyelids and how they, I've always lost a lot of elasticity there. It's genetic. And I mean, if I could show you, I'll see if I can find a picture, but how much less hooded my eyes are after using this consistently. I had to use it a little bit before I started noticing a difference. And now I feel like my eyes are so much more lifted. Now, I feel like I still have quite a few like lines underneath my eyes, but I can see a noticeable difference. I attribute it all to this, that magical peptide. So I couldn't leave out this company. I do really feel like I don't have any other things in these product lines that are retinoids. So again, retinoid is gold standard for anti-aging. If you're looking for it, I mean, and other things from acne and skin tone and texture, all of the things. But I would say this peptide would be my second choice if you are sensitive to retinoids. I would look into this company. This peptide has definitely shown me visible results, no sensitivity. So I also have eye dermatitis, and so certain ingredients can make my eyes swell, inflame, peel, all the things. And I've never had any issues with this, probably because it also has a lot of calming ingredients in it as well. OneSkin has my honorable mention. Now, if crepey eyelids are not your concern and you're just looking for an eye cream that is really good at hydration. So I will be honest, I find the number one visible sign of aging is not usually wrinkles per se, they're dehydration, fine lines. And I know personally, like if I look at pictures when I was like young, in my late 20s, early 30s, that was all I had. I wasn't taking care of my skin. And so I had a lot of what looked like premature aging simply because my skin was dehydrated. And so I wish I had this product back then. This is more for the other side of the spectrum. You're looking for boosting hydration, plumping, it'll still plump fine lines due to dehydration, but it's gonna smooth, hydrate. It's got 10% glycerin. It even has a peptide to help with puffiness and dark circles. Now, one of the things, once again, this is their Oracle Reviving Eye Gel. If you have really eyes prone to milia like I do and stay clear of like the thicker creams, this gel formulation is glorious. Like it is so hydrating and soothing and absorbs really quickly, great for under makeup. The thing I really love about, one of the main reasons why I love this company, so it's got a 1% algae polysaccharide complex, and they will straight up say it will help with dark circles. But then it will say, even on their website, not if your dark circles are caused by hyperpigmentation, because there are no ingredients in here to lighten dark spots, but they can help different kinds of dark circles, whether they're vascular. From dark spots, which is what a lot of mine are, that's a different story. And so I appreciate their transparency. It really drives me crazy when eye creams make all of these claims and yet there's no, and they say dark circles, but there's nothing in them to actually stand up to that claim. Not to mention there's so many different types of dark circles. What type are you addressing? And so this one actually does that. Once again, it's integrity, right? The gel serum texture, so good for those that are at risk for triggering milia, which is one of the reasons why I love it. I will be honest, my very first introduction to this company was because of these. These are their forever eye masks. And these are, again, reusable silicone eye masks that will last forever, which I can appreciate. They've got different designs. These are the tattoo one. I think now they're in these smaller cases, but I love the angel wings. So let's just put on the original. They'll tell you, obviously their eye serum works the best with it. I just find any gel texture really does. They'll say to put it on, let it get tacky for 30 seconds, and then these will stick really well to that. Because they create this barrier, they're gonna boost hydration. They're actually gonna maximize the absorption you get from that product as well, so make it work better, and they're gonna plump those fine lines. So I will be honest, I use these when I wake up feeling super puffy. I will use something like this and it will help depuff and plump. And if I have some kind of special occasion, I will use these even when I'm putting on my makeup. You can even do eye makeup and it like collects fallout from eyeshadow. I've seen the founder put on these a little bit higher and using them as like a guide to be able to draw on winged eyeliner depending on the placement of these eye masks. So universal, I am obsessed. So these are the first product I bought with my own money from Dew. Ever since they came out with products to use with them, these are the holy grail for me as far as eye masks. I don't have to buy a different eye mask. You can use it with any eye serum you want. I tried it with products other than gel formulations. I do prefer the gel, but you can use it with any eye cream that you're looking to target those issues with. You can use them daily. You just wash them, let them dry, and you can put them right back in your tin. I love that these tins are metal, so you can actually even put them in the refrigerator. If you do wake up super puffy, you can take them out of the fridge and it's gonna have that extra cooling / constriction depuffing effect when you do it straight out of the fridge. Okay, while these are on doing their thing, I'm gonna talk a little bit about the OS01 again. So this is the OneSkin Face Topical Supplement. This is what got me introduced to the brand. I bought this myself with my own money to test it. And this is more like, they call it their essential moisturizer, but it's, in my opinion, more like a serum type, like moisturizer treatment. Again, it still has that issue. Look at this. That is the hardened piece. If they could fix that, there wouldn't be anything I could complain about. So this is like, it's like a very light moisturizer, but it's almost like a serum. They recommend using it right after cleansing to get the most results. Obviously, that's gonna give you the best absorption of that peptide, but this is what I'm talking about. If you are sensitive to retinoids, I would recommend trying something like this. They've shown it increases epidermal thickness. Let's see, 87% reduction in lines and wrinkles, 96% in evenness, radiance, pores, and firmness. 100% saw results of skin smoothness and overall appearance. So I love that data. Let's move on to SPF, one of my favorite subjects. And if you guys have seen, I have shared that this was gifted to me, their entire SPF line. And I will say my biggest complaint is that this bottle is not bigger. This is the body SPF. I have been using this all summer long. I carried it with me like for every baseball game. It rubs in really quickly and easily with no white cast, which I always feel like is like a miracle with any mineral product. So this is zinc oxide, 14%, but it also has that peptide in it. I love this. I just wish the bottle was bigger. So in comparison, this is 100 mils, so 3.4 ounces of sunscreen. I feel like as a body sunscreen, I could go through that really fast. The face sunscreens as well aren't the biggest. I mean, they're not the smallest, but they're 40 mils each. So there's both a sheer tinted and a untinted. Here are my thoughts. I've compared these before. The tinted one, I love using around my eyes. I've shown this to give myself a little bit of coverage because it does have quite a bit of color. On the website, it kind of like explains how to pick which color is best for you. But This one does have one silicone at the very bottom of the list. I've tried it with the makeup. It didn't affect mine, but just know that it's not gonna work for all skin tones. It is kind of a medium tint, in my opinion. It's not super, I don't know, they call it sheer, but I feel like this is less sheer than some of my other tinted sunscreens. So, you know, it maybe somewhere in the middle. Their untinted is actually my favorite. It goes on really beautifully and no white cast, at least on me. If you're much darker than me, it might give you a white cast, but this one has no silicones. They both are great. They are mineral SPF if you have a sensitivity to chemicals. They have antioxidants like vitamin C, green tea, acai, and they have that peptide as well. They're really good, but I do find them a little pricey. So if you're looking for something more affordable, Prequel has a mineral called the Sun Barrier. Now this one is a kind of hue. It's what they call a peachy hue. Can you see that? So it takes a little bit more rubbing in, I'd say, but I feel like once you get it in, it doesn't give any kind of white cast, and it gives a really beautiful, they call it a radiant finish. I think it gives a really beautiful finish. It's got antioxidants, Zabolo, I can't say that word, Centella, Asiatica, you guys know I love that, to reduce irritation and redness. And so it's supposed to help with redness from the sun at the same time. Very affordable. Unfortunately, there is silicones in it if you are a Seint wearer, but it's a really great mineral sunscreen if you're looking for one that is not the cost of something like that. You get 10 more mils in the Prequel than you do the ones. Okay, the next category is a hard one for me because there are so many good moisturizers in this line. I get asked all the time what one moisturizer I would recommend. And again, it's usually leads me to more questions. And so my question is, you want just face? You want face and body? Do you want affordable? Do you want, you know, what's your skin type? Are you wanting it at night? Are you wanting it for morning as well? Like all of the things. First go over Prequels. Again, look at the size of these bottles. I believe this one's sold out right now. This one just came back in stock if it doesn't sell out by the time I get this video up, because that is how popular it's been. So there are 2 moisturizers from Prequel so far, both extremely affordable. And I'll be honest, I use these both on face and body. I've used them both on my face. They don't break me out, but I tend to gravitate these for body because they're in such a large size. I don't feel bad about using them, and they're so affordable. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna use an expensive small face cream on my full body, but these are massive. So first, let's go over the Urea Advanced Relief 10% Urea Moisturizing Milk. So this is the first one I ever tried. You guys, it has been reformulated since the time I originally talked about it. It used to be silicone free. It's not anymore. I still love the product. That happens with companies, you know, get the formulation just right. I get it. This one is gonna be best for dry, rough, flaky, uneven texture, okay? It's got this mid-weight texture, meaning it's not like a cream. It's, when they call it a moisturizing milk, I feel like that is accurate. Okay, it's not like super thick, but it's not super lightweight either. That's why mid-weight is very accurate. It has been clinically tested to show 24-hour moisture, which is amazing. So the reason why urea is in it, urea is actually an incredible ingredient. Mild keratolytic, which means it acts as a humectant, an emollient, and also an exfoliant. Gentle exfoliant. It will naturally make your skin cell shed faster. Glycerin, shea butter, niacinamide. It's gonna increase skin barrier function. This is the capacity of your skin to bind water, actually enhance the absorption of your skincare actives as you use something like this. Next is Barrier Therapy Skin Protectant cream. So this one, again, clinically tested 24-hour moisture. Now this one's 1% colloidal oatmeal, which is going to soothe dry, itchy skin. So this is the best one, I'd say, if you have eczema or psoriasis. It's got allotonin, multiple ceramides to support skin barrier. It says it temporarily alleviates itchiness and minor skin irritation. When my skin feels itchy, which it has like right here lately, I reach for this. I'm telling you, I've had like some weird skin things going on this summer. I think just from being outside and sweating so much and washing so much and all the things. I've been reaching for this one anytime my skin feels just a little off, and it's really good. Again, you can't beat the size of these. And I will be honest, I typically grab these for full body, probably because usually my body tends to be the area that's more dry, flaky, or itchy. It's usually not my skin, because I probably take better care of my face skin than my body skin. Anyone else? Real quick, One Skin also has a body supplement. I will be honest, I don't use this as a normal lotion. I find it too expensive to just put all over my body, right? But if you're looking to target like skin crepiness or texture, or you have areas maybe sensitive to retinoids, I use this on my chest here, that I feel like as I age, like that skin is just not as firm as it used to be. And I want to start using this maybe on like my arms too, like areas that are maybe starting to get a little crepey in that regard. This is what I'm going to choose. So the prequel is more like full body hydration after a shower, or if I'm itchy or whatever. This is going to be more like targeted. I need this area a little more anti-aging. So typically we can't use like retinoids on our neck and chest. The skin is very different there, but this would be something I feel like I could take all the way down, and it's not going to cause irritation in this area. 2 moisturizers from Dew. Let's start with their newest one, which is called Air Angel. Okay, so this is more of a gel cream. All right, so it's got that really light texture. I would say this is great for oily, acne-prone, sensitive skin, or say you just live in a humid climate like I do in the summer and you don't need a heavy moisturizer in the day. It's a more natural finish to the skin, not super shiny, not super matte. You can even use this as a serum. Say you have really dry, dehydrated skin. I'll be honest, in the winter, my skin's feeling dry, I will layer these two. I'll use this as a serum because it's got such a light texture. It layers really well. It has 10% glycerin, 2% of a barrier repair complex. So urea, ceramides, hyaluronic, amino acids, all the things. It reduces transepidermal water loss. For dehydrated skin, it will plump, hold on to moisture, and it's got that peptide to reduce wrinkle depth. So it has all the goodness that this one has, which is the original, but this is just a lighter formulation designed for those oilier skin types, or again, in the summer when you don't need as thick of a cream. Now, when people ask me if I could pick one moisturizer for nighttime, like what would be my holy grail? I'll be honest, it would be this, if price was not an issue. Now, when you're comparing prices of this to prequel, like prequel is always going to be the most affordable option, yes. But as far as my very favorite, Seint cream and then Dew is going to be right there with it. Instant Angel. They call it a lipid-rich moisturizer because it is just that, lipid-rich. Think deeply moisturizing. I'm telling you, if you have dry skin and you don't think this is hydrating, you need to exfoliate first. If that is the case, if you don't find this hydrating, you need to get off that top layer of dead skin. This is so hydrating. It leaves a dewy finish. I know that's not for everyone. I'll be honest, I don't use this under makeup. I don't need it. I don't have dry skin. But this is when overnight, You can use this overnight. When you wake up the next day, you will still be hydrated. That is what I consider to be a criteria for an overnight moisturizer. You wake up and you are still dewy and plump the next day. That should be what every last step in your routine should give you, right? So it gives instant hydration. It strengthens your barrier. 60-day clinical trials showed a reduction in fine lines and wrinkles. It has all of that goodness. The peptides, fatty acids, ceramides, glycerin, urea, squalane, phytosteroids, scented as well. So sometimes people are asking for recommendations. Maybe you've tried Seint cream and you're like, it's fragrance, I can't do fragrance. This doesn't have any added fragrance. None of Dew's stuff does, but I'm telling you, it is just, this is what I think of when it's like a night cream. But it's like a cream, yet it feels like silk going on the skin. Like if this was in a jumbo and I could afford it, I would put this all over my body. This is the big bottle, I believe. They recently repackaged. This is the big Kahuna bottle. This is the little guy, and I've gone through multiple tubes of this. They even sell a little squeeze key so you can slowly turn down this aluminum tube so that you get every last drop out, which I also appreciate. Quick before we get to the last step of our routine. Okay, I'm gonna quickly take this off and put on some Air Angel because it is 95 today. I'm gonna give it some time for that to absorb before I go into my sunscreen. While we talk about these, I can't leave them out because, like I said, Prequel has 13 products that are skincare products, and these are so good, I have to share them. Okay, they have a foot rescue and a hand wrap. Okay, let's first go with the foot. The only time I have an issue with size is this, because the foot rescue is not nearly big enough in my opinion. This is amazing. It's 15% urea, which again is gonna speed up skin cell turnover. Salicylic acid is gonna also encourage exfoliation. And then it's also got malic acid, which is one of those acids that is a humectant and exfoliant. And petrolatum, which is the gold standard occlusive, right? And that is to seal in the humectants to hydrate. So it does have this like ointment-like texture, okay? Like you would from any petrolatum-based product, but it's like 1.7 ounces, and I wanna slather my feet in this stuff. And you can even get like those gel-lined socks to put on over it, and it works so well, but I feel like I'm gonna go through this bottle so fast. So my only complaint, they need a bigger bottle of the Foot Rescue. Now, this has quickly become my favorite hand lotion of all time, and that's saying something. Normally I pick a hand lotion based on scent because I want my hands to smell nice, right? Nope, not anymore. This is, and I've talked about this, and it is purely because of this they call it hand wrap, hand shielding lotion. Okay, 24-hour, clinically tested to hydrate. It's the only thing I think I've ever used on my hands that I feel like still hydrates, and you don't just wash off the next time you wash your hands. So it has emollients to soften, hyaluronic acid, everything for skin barrier function. But the cool thing is it has a film former. It creates a water-resistant layer to reduce moisture loss after hand washing. So this cool water-resistant film former, it just envelops your hand to where you can feel this water break, and as you keep rubbing, it stops, and then it gets silky almost. And then, no joke, it's like this, I don't even know how to describe it. It's so hard to describe. I'm telling you guys, I even put this in my baseball bag all summer because you know, you go to like a gross baseball field bathroom, anywhere you go that has those like drying hand soaps, then my hands, I don't know about you guys, but that's one thing I can't stand is the feeling of dry hands. So I can use this and it's like, it doesn't just wash off the moisture. Even those stripping, drying hand soaps, it is incredible. So this one I feel like is a good size bottle. I wish they'd even come with a smaller bottle so that I can like keep it in my crossbody, because like I almost need like a smaller travel version, as well as this one like in my bathroom. So I need multiple bottles of this, please. Bigger bottles of this. And then I'd be almost done. Prequel, 3 more products. And I'll be honest, when this first launched, they had this one. I understood. They came out with these 2 and I was like, why would we need 3 different kinds? Until I tried them and now I understand. So, first of all was the Skin Utility Ointment. Okay, so what is the difference between all 3 of these? One is an ointment, one is a balm, and one is a gel. So let me show you the difference in texture. So if you've ever slugged, if you know what slugging your face is, it is the last step of your routine. You would take an ointment-like texture. You can use Vaseline. You can use 3 of these type products technically, and another one I'm still going to share with you. Its entire purpose is by putting an occlusive layer over your skin or over your moisturizers, your last step. It will decrease the amount of transepidermal water loss you have overnight. It almost locks in all of your skincare you just put on. So I typically do it in the winter when your skin tends to be drier. But the cool thing about some of these products are there's some lighter weight options, and there's some options that you can do all year round depending on your skin type and what your skin is doing at the time. And so when I need it, I use it. If you're oilier skin and you're like, I've never been able to slug, Sarah, like I don't need that, there are some cool options for that as well. So typically Vaseline is 100% petrolatum. This Skin Utility Ointment is 45% petrolatum. So it still has that ointment texture, okay? But it is lighter weight. So they call it a mid-weight. Still occlusive. It's still gonna prevent moisture loss and transepidermal water loss, and also keep out external irritants. It's got this skin protectant, shielding polymer as well. It's got that bisabolol to soothe, and antioxidant, ceramides to support your barrier and to keep it hydrated. So it's gonna lock in all that goodness and protect dry, chapped skin. I'll be honest, I usually use this one for my lips, okay? A lot of that ointment-like texture, you will see people use this on their lips, cuticles, feet. This is a very multi-purpose type product. Like think Aquaphor, anything you can use Aquaphor for, this you can use as well, but it has those added ingredients to hydrate, whereas Vaseline will not hydrate. So hear me on this. Vaseline's 100% petrolatum. It is 100% an occlusive barrier. That is all. It will only hold in anything you put under it. So yes, you can use it. Some people hate the sticky feeling or getting it on their pillow. This is a lighter weight option, okay? So it also has ingredients in it that are also gonna like help your barrier at the same time, not just reduce water loss, okay? So I hope that makes sense. Next one is a balm, and I didn't know what to think about this one at first. This one actually has dimethicone. I talk about dimethicone all the time, so I'm gonna put it right next to the ointment so you can see, okay? You can tell it's more of like a cream. So this kind of reminds me of like Cicaplast, which also has a lot of silicone in it. It has that really rich texture, but it's still like buttery, like soft feeling on the skin. Dimethicone is considered to give you like a breathable film. So it's gonna still hold in that transepidermal water loss. It's got shea butter and cica, so it's got centella in it to kind of soothe the skin, and it's got a lipid complex to maintain your moisture balance. So Again, it's rich enough to hydrate, but it is not gonna feel greasy or heavy. So if you have tried to use occlusives before and you can't get past that texture, you could try something like this balm. It's gonna give that really soft, satiny finish to your skin. And I find this one to be a little bit more soothing and reparative, I guess you could say, than this one, and probably due to centella. Okay, the last one is the gel. So let's see if you can see that one, Okay, this one is literally a gel. So obviously the lightest weight, it's gonna absorb the quickest, especially if you're not layering it over a bunch of stuff, but it's got 20% glycerin. So a lot of hydration in this little guy, right? It's very lightweight. It's got a soothing complex. It's gonna calm irritation, visual redness, dehydration, and minimize that transepidermal water loss at the same time. I'll be honest, this has become my new favorite hydrator for my cuticles. I kid you not. I started doing some research because my cuticles have always been a pain point for me. I've used every cuticle oil on the face of the earth, and I'm like, oils are just emollients. They soften the skin. They don't hydrate the skin. And they can kind of soften, but I'm like, why do we use oils on our cuticles? And then I saw somewhere where somebody was talking about what a scam cuticle oils are, and I'm like, I'm not the only one that thinks so. So I started kind of experimenting with these, and I'm like, this has glycerin. This is gonna hydrate. This also can soothe, dehydration and minimizes transepidermal water loss. I'm telling you guys, this is the best cuticle hydrator I've ever used. It absorbs really quickly. It immediately makes my cuticles look better, takes down redness. Anyway, it is, I don't know if that's what they intended it for, but it's what I've been using on my constant suffering from your cuticles. Oh my gosh, I love this. Anyway, that is the 3 different options for slugging occlusives that you can get from Prequel. I really do feel like they've hit the nail on every different skin type and want and concern with these 3. It's so well thought out and formulated. Now, the next one's a little bit of a different product, and I love this because, again, I love to slug, but I don't have such dry, dehydrated skin that I feel like I need to do it all year. Like, I usually just do it in the winter every once in a while, not like nightly or anything like that. So Experiment came out with buffer jelly, and I just thought this was so cool. They literally came up with an entire new term for slugging called micro slugging. So this is a barrier boosting oil gel. So let me tell you, whereas this was 45% petrolatum, this is 3%, if that tells you how much less is in. Got a ceramide MP complex that accelerates your barrier recovery, kind of like also they had a lot of that in their Super Satty serum. They have squalane, oat oil, skin soothers. They call it an oil meets gel, so it's very lightweight. So it's all intended to strengthen your skin barrier, calm irritation, soothe this. They also show different ways you can utilize this. So they call this micro slugging. I usually just use, to be honest, like a little, I don't know if you can see that. Do you see how it's kind of like a gel formulation? It's not super oily. They call it an oil meets gel. To me, you feel the oil once you rub it in, but it does feel very gel-like upon first application, but it still holds in moisture. So they say you can micro slug by using it as the last step in your routine. You can boost by mixing a drop in with your moisturizer, gives you more barrier support, or you can even mix with Super Satty to make your own moisturizer. And you can use more or less of each one depending on how much hydration you need. I love that they always give you different options to use their products in ways, and their entire motto is experiment and figure out which way works best for you, which, if you don't know, is one of my mottos, is experimenting. So always loved their company name and their motto because it's something I live by. Last but not least, the only one, surprisingly, out of all of these that has a lip product. And I'll be honest, this company, I've bought everything that they've made. I will buy anything they continue to make because they're well thought out products. So I knew as soon as this was launching, I would buy it. And I love it. I just wish the bottle was bigger. So sometimes, you know, it is only 10 mils, which seems super small, but this is Experiment's software. Again, love the name, love the entire premise. So this is a lip product designed to hydrate, exfoliate, and protect. One of the reasons why I love this is because it's got glycerin in it. We know how I love that as humectant. It's got 63% squalane, which is the most similar to the natural hydration in our skin. Petrolatum in it as well. So that's going to protect and hold in that moisture. And it also has water, 7%. So one of the biggest misconceptions is there's so many lip products on the market that don't contain water. And you might be like, why would I want water added to my lip products? But a humectant needs water in the product to fully hydrate. So a lot of those lip products you use that you put on time and time again, and you never feel like you get any hydration and you just have to use more and more of the product, that's because it's lacking water. Water not in a product is not helpful. It doesn't make sense scientifically. You need water. If there is any aims to hydrate, then it has to have water in it. Water's not a filler. Water is the universal solvent, and it is needed in formulations. Let me tell you, chemists are not putting unneeded ingredients in products. I know people like to claim that, but let me tell you, every ingredient costs money. They're not going to make something more expensive for no purpose. Water in it. The cool thing is that it also has hydroxycaprylic acid, only at 0.2%. Now this is a gentle AHA, which is an alpha hydroxy acid. So what it does is it's going to gently exfoliate your lips. Meaning it's not so much that your lips are gonna be peeling or anything like that, but when you get, like, they call it crusty lips, it's going to exfoliate your lips enough to where they're not going to feel crusty, okay? It's gonna hydrate, it's gonna lock in that moisture from the water and your humectants like glycerin, and then it's gonna have that gentle AHA so that you're not having crusty lips. It is so cool. Also, one of the most great feeling, that's the word, lip products I've ever used. It's not sticky at all. It's not glossy. It has a true balm texture. It doesn't taste weird. It just feels very soft on the lips, like very comfortable. Like the first time I tried this, I was like, I don't know how they did it. It feels incredible. So their clinical said 100% created soft and hydrated and smooth immediately. I agree. 8 hours later, 52% increase in hydration, 32% decrease in transepidermal water loss, and after a week, 85% saw a reduction in roughness and flaking. So I typically use this at night on my nightstand to use as right before I go to bed. It is so good. They need a jumbo size. Okay, so I never put on my sunscreen, so I'm gonna show you guys real quick prequel so you can see how it rubs in, because now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know if I've ever shown you guys this one. So this is the one with the peachy hue. Very affordable and mineral. So it's not gonna irritate my eyes. Look at that, it rubs in and gives this beautiful, radiant finish, if I can get it all rubbed in. and it rubs in super quickly. Those are my 3 favorite brands, my honorable mention. I've tried almost all of OneSkin's products. I've loved everything I've tried. It's all backed by science. All of these are backed by clinical studies and evidence, research. No false claims, no miracle products, miracle ingredients. Trust me, if there were miracle ingredients, every skincare product on the face of the earth would include them. Okay? Be mindful of whose advice you're trusting on skincare. I know it's very loud on social media right now when it comes to brands and influencers. Do your own research. I'm not even asking you to just trust my advice. I'm telling you, do your own research. Look at what's backed by science. You don't need to stick with one brand. You really want to look at your concerns, what your skin needs, what's lacking in your regimen if you're wanting to take it to the next level. I am happy to help make recommendations like always. I'm probably more picky than most people about who I trust on the internet, and these are all brands I trust. They're innovative, they're transparent, they have integrity, they don't make false claims, and those are all things I encourage you to look for in a skincare brand when you are spending your hard-earned money.